Hey, what's up YouTube? Skybadger here, and we are back on day one of a new Let's Play. So this one is not a fan game. I've got a little bit of spare time on my hands, so I've gone ahead and I've jumped into a 100-player with the public, and it's just going to be interesting to see how this goes. Being in an environment that, I guess, I'm not big dog, you could say. I'm not, no one knows who I am. No one's hit me up about being Skybadger yet. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'll get treated like everyone else for a change. So, it's going to be a good experience. Hopefully, through this game, I can develop my tactics a bit more, get some experience with some outside players, and just kind of learn and develop my tactics a bit more. So, based on what we've learned from the past few games, I've gone for a very different approach to my start. If we come into our research, we can see that we're already researching submarine and we're researching artillery. So that first slot's pretty much always the same for me. It's generally submarine. But this slot down here is artillery this time. Usually in here I'd have light tank or interceptor. Now the reason I haven't gone down the armored car then light tank path is because over the last few games, I've noticed something. I use a lot of light tanks early game, so the first maybe 15 days, and then after that, I don't make any more. So I figured if I specialize in my infantry forces, which I use a lot more, it will be a better investment of my time instead of having to waste research slots on units I'm unlikely to use. So I was also able to quickly squeeze in anti-tank. Now I've also got some anti-tank guns producing at the moment along with some infantry, and they should be done fairly quickly, and that will really speed up my production. So if we have a look at what we're building at the moment, we can see that as per usual in all of my resource producing provinces, that should have started. Yeah, I'm waiting on money. That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, so sometimes guys, when you buy everything on the market, you use all your money and then you got nothing left to actually buy everything with. So that's what's happening at the moment. We're building infrastructure in nearly all of our resource-producing provinces. I'm not building it in our cities. That's because we're not going to build like tanks, and instead I'm going to skip infrastructure and go straight into building upgraded industrial complexes, and then as soon as I can produce submarines, start spamming out subs. So that's the plan there, but in every other province it's just infrastructure. So 2 anti-tank guns, 2 infantry. I was going to go with 4 anti-tank guns, but I've got the majority of my forces heading away from New Zealand at the moment, and I do kind of need something on defense. So the new troops I produce can act as a defense force, I guess. So that's what's happening there. Now the overall plan is we've got ourselves a buddy in New South Wales in the form of Flying Penguin. Now he's going to basically really just give us access to Australia so we can attack Queensland. At this point, the intentions of Western Australia is he wants to attack both of these guys and take them out. But to do that, he first has to pass through here. So me and New South Wales will get plenty of warning as to when that's going to happen. So basically the plan is at this point, New South Wales is going to attack Queensland. I'm going to come up the side, hopefully when all of Queensland's units are along here, and go in for the kill. Looking at New Queensland's stats, he is a competent player. He's got a high rank. He's got a positive province captured to provinces lost ratio, but his KD isn't too good, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. So that there will be pretty interesting. That's also why you'll notice that I've gone into artillery, not interceptors. So at this early on in the game, producing interceptors en masse is not going to be too useful. Now obviously once they start to get the tactical bombers up, then we definitely need some interceptors, but I'll specialize in those soon. But at the moment I'm going for artillery. So hopefully I can get some artillery over there as soon as possible and then try to minimize the amount of casualties we take. Now ideally I want to try taking Queensland with minimal casualties, and then I want to be able to easily waltz across to Western Australia and deal with that. But due to the fact we're all the way down here in New Zealand, it's going to be a pretty hard challenge to get reinforcements up there. So the reason I'm playing as New Zealand is it's going to be one of the most hardest places to play. Like, I mean, I know if you come across all the way over into nearly there, Europe and Asia, it's a mosh pit, and this sort of fighting doesn't attract me. I hate it. Winning over here is, takes a lot of skill, a lot of activity. But New Zealand, to actually win the game, is a pretty difficult one, because you have to island hop all the way up through the Pacific, and then you have to get into Asia, and by the time you get into Asia, there's a powerhouse in the region, and then you have to fight them, and you have to take them out. So, yeah, it's not really an easy option. But we will get there, and that's why we're focusing on our navy, because we're going to need a big navy to push up. So the plan is build submarines. They can act as a screen, as a defense. I can send them up, help us get access to Papua New Guinea. Then go into destroyers, and I want to get cruisers really fast, so I have some artillery on the sea. I can bomb out cities, kill enemy troops, then land. But that's the goal. So generally speaking, it's a pretty conventional approach, especially with my navy, although I definitely need to get to naval bombers quick. So that's going to be a tough one. So I've got to go through those and get naval bombers. Along the lines, because I am playing as New Zealand, there are a few special things I need to do that I wouldn't really do with any other countries, and that is really try to build an aircraft carrier as soon as possible. Due to the distance New Zealand is away from Australia, it takes a long time to be able to bridge that gap, and if I have to send aircraft across just like that every single time I want to send an aircraft, it's going to take 24 hours. Now, I do want to move my infantry and aircraft production out of New Zealand into Australia once I have the production sites, but I'm still going to need to be able to shift aircraft up and down, so I'll need a aircraft carrier in the Tasman Sea. So that's the goal. Or maybe I could shift through... I'm from New Zealand and I don't even recognize that place. Tiana? I don't know. Some of the place names on this are really weird. Like I recognize Wanaka, Timaru, Oamaru, Christchurch. Some of these names are like I've never heard of them. They must pick like the most remote places. So anyway, aircraft carrier down here, jump across to Tasmania, then into Australia. So you're going to need to do that at some point. On top of that, we're also going to probably have to research convoys and troop transports. Now, I wouldn't usually do this, but considering a lot of our troops, while we're island hopping, will be crossing over the ocean, it seems like a sensible investment to have that speed boost so we spend less time on the water and we can move a lot faster. I doubt we'll get to level 4 anytime soon, but having it would be really, really awesome and would go a long way. So in the coming days, the goal is Queensland, Central Australia, Western Australia, and then basically just head up through there, so then into Papua New Guinea. But I mean, obviously, you make a plan, it never lasts. So we'll see how we go, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.